In a quiet village surrounded by tall palm trees and red earth roads lived a woman named Mary. She was known for her gentle smile, her hardworking hands, and her respectful nature. But despite her virtues, Mary carried a burden that weighed heavily on her heart. She had been married to Abana for 5 years, yet her womb had not brought forth a child. At first, people were patient with her. They told her, "Children come in God's time, do not worry." But as the years passed, whispers began to grow into gossip, and gossip turned into open mockery. Wherever she went, she could hear women whispering behind her back, "That is Abana's wife, the barren one. 5 years in her husband's house, yet no cry of a baby." Even children sang mocking songs when she passed, and each word pierced her heart like a spear. Her co-wife, Ngozi, who already had 2 children, was the loudest voice of all. She would stand in the compound, holding her baby on her hip, and say loudly enough for Mary to hear, "A woman without a child is not a woman at all. What is the use of a barren tree in a fertile land?" Abana loved his wife, but even he was not free from pressure. His mother, Jane, never stopped reminding him of his duty to continue the family lineage. "My son," she said one evening as they sat by the fire, "how long will you waste your youth on a barren woman? Take another wife who can give you a child before it is too late." Mary overheard those words from where she stood in the kitchen, and tears filled her eyes. That night, when everyone slept, she knelt down on the cold floor, lifted her face to heaven, and prayed. "O God of Hannah, God of Sarah, if you could remember them in their shame, remember me. Take away this reproach from me. Do not let my enemies laugh forever." But the mockery did not stop. Ngozi mocked her daily, and Mama Abana treated her with coldness. The village women avoided her during their meetings, saying that a barren woman brought bad luck. Mary's heart grew heavy with sorrow, but she never stopped praying. One evening, as the sun was sinking behind the hills, Mary went to the river to fetch water. The path was quiet, and only the rustling of leaves and the croaking of frogs filled the air. As she bent down to dip her clay pot into the water, she heard a faint cry. At first, she thought it was an animal, but the cry grew louder. Curious and afraid, she followed the sound, and there, floating in a basket near the riverbank, was a tiny baby wrapped in a cloth. Mary's hands trembled as she pulled the basket to the shore. The baby looked up at her with bright eyes, and suddenly, a strange warmth filled her heart. She lifted the child into her arms, and the crying stopped instantly. Mary stood frozen, unable to understand what had just happened. Who could abandon such a beautiful child? She carried the baby home, but when the villagers saw her, they burst into laughter. "Look at the barren woman," they said. "She has gone mad. She stole another woman's child to cover her shame." Even Mama Abana shouted, "Mary, return this baby to where you found her. We cannot keep another person's curse in this house." But Abana, though confused, was touched by the innocence of the child. He looked at the baby in Mary's arms and said firmly, "This child will stay. If the world calls my wife barren, let them also say that she is mother to the abandoned. Her name shall be Chiamaka, for God is truly beautiful." From that day, Mary cared for Chiamaka as if she had come from her own womb. She sang to her, bathed her, and prayed over her. The villagers mocked her still, but she ignored their words. To her, this child was a gift from God. Years passed, and Chiamaka grew into a wise and extraordinary girl. She was different from other children. At just 5 years old, she spoke words that amazed elders. She carried a calm presence that made people feel peace. One day, tragedy struck. Ngozi's only son, who had always mocked Mary and called her Mama Nobody, fell gravely ill. His body burned with fever, and no medicine could cure him. Herbalists tried their best. Doctors from nearby towns were called, but nothing worked. Desperation filled Ngozi's household. In her tears, Ngozi ran to Mary's house. She knelt before her and cried, "Please forgive me. Please help me. My son is dying." Mary looked at her, surprised, but before she could speak, little Chiamaka stepped forward. The child laid her small hand on the sick boy and whispered a prayer too soft to hear. Instantly, the fever broke. The boy opened his eyes, sat up, and asked for water. The people around gasped in shock. News spread quickly through the village. Everyone rushed to see this wonder. The chief priest, who had lived long and seen many mysteries, declared in the gathering, "This child is not ordinary. She is chosen by the heavens. Whoever mocked her mother mocked God himself. From today, let no one call Mary barren again, for heaven has given her a child greater than many. Shame fell upon those who had mocked her. Mama Abena wept bitterly and begged forgiveness. My daughter, I treated you with cruelty. Forgive me. Truly, children are gifts from God, and he alone gives as he pleases. Even Ngozi, who once mocked her daily, could not lift her head in shame. Mary held Chiamaka close and smiled through her tears. She had no need to boast. God had fought her battle. The same lips that once mocked her now blessed her. And so it was said throughout the land. They accused her of being barren, but God gave her a child that silenced her enemies. Indeed, his ways are not the ways of man.